Okay, Madam Chairman, it's 7 o'clock.
Good evening. I call to order this regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission, and I will begin with a few introductory comments. As a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones have been silenced. Please note that tonight's Planning Commission meeting will be rebroadcast via CityLink and posted on the www.minnehahacounty.gov site for viewing by the general public. Any final action taken on the conditional use permit applications tonight will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the Planning Commission office by Tuesday, July 7th, 2026 at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the County Commission for a hearing on Tuesday, July 21st, 2026 at or after 9 a.m. The affected parties will be notified of the meeting date, and meetings of the County Commission are held in this same room. First on our agenda is public input. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? At this time, the Planning Commission will consider the consent agenda, and items on the consent agenda are perceived to be non-controversial and meet all of the requirements of the codes and regulations. The consent agenda will be acted on in one motion with no public hearing on the items unless a member of the public, the commission, or staff requests the item be removed from the consent agenda. Next, I will read each item on the consent agenda and ask if there are any issues or comments from the Planning Commission or the audience, and if any member of the Planning Commission or the audience would like to be heard on the item, please raise your hand, and the item will be moved to the regular agenda to allow you to address the commission later in the meeting. Any items remaining on the consent agenda will be approved by the Planning Commission with the conditions recommended by staff. Number 1 on the consent agenda is the approval of our minutes of the May 18th, 2026 meeting. Item number 2 is conditional use permit 26-28 to transfer to building eligibilities from the northwest quarter, southwest quarter. Within the north half, southeast quarter, there is an exception of the east half, the northeast quarter, southeast quarter, and except track 1, Irving's addition, and except H-1, end of exception. And the north half, southwest quarter, Section 1, Township 102 North, Range 48 West, Brandon Township, to the northwest quarter, southwest quarter. Within the north half, southwest quarter, there's another exception of H-1, end of exception. Section 6, Township 102 North, Range 47 West, Red Rock Township. And from the northeast quarter, southwest quarter, to the northwest quarter, southwest quarter, all within the north half, southwest quarter, there's another exception of H-1, end of exception. Section 6, Township 102 North, Range is 47 West, that is in Red Rock Township. The petitioner and property owner is David Sorensen, and it's located approximately 2.5 miles south of Garrettson along 257th Street. Is there anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Item number 3 is conditional use permit 26-30 to exceed 2,400 square feet of accessory building area, requesting 4,000 square feet on the property legally described as the south 30 feet of lot 11 and all lots 12 and 13 in Gunderson Addition, northwest quarter, Section 34, Township 103 North, Range 49 West, that is in Sverdrup Township. The petitioner and the property owners are Brian and Kristen Paulson, located at 25523 475th Avenue. Is there anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Okay, item number 4, conditional use permit 26-31 to amend conditional use permit 19-14 to allow motor vehicle sales and display and to amend the hours of operation on the property legally described as Lot 4, Block 4, Brower Addition, Southwest Quarter, Section 27, Township 102 North, Range 51 West, that is in Hartford Township. The petitioner is Aaron Lewis. Property owner is Dean Stockwell, located at 26062 Ashley Street, Unit Number 10. Anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Item number 5, conditional use permit 26-32 to transfer 3 building eligibilities from the northeast quarter, the northwest quarter, the southeast quarter, the northwest quarter, and the southwest quarter, the northwest quarter, to the northwest quarter, the northwest quarter, and all within the northwest quarter. There is an exception of Tract 1A, Swenson Addition, end of exception, Section 8, Township 102 North, Range 48 West. That is in Brandon Township. Petitioner and property owner is Trent Dowley. It's located in the southeast corner of 257th Street and 479th Avenue intersection. Anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Item number 6, conditional use permit 26-33 to allow commercial vehicle sales on the property legally described as Lot 9, Block 1, Brower Addition, Southwest Quarter, Section 27, Township 102 North, Range 51 West. That is also in Hartford Township. Petitioner is Onward Property Management, and they are also the property owners. They're an LLC, located at 46324 Kelsey Drive. Anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Item number 7, conditional use permit 26-35 to exceed 3,600 square feet of accessory building area. They are requesting 8,520 square feet on the property legally described as McKay's Tracts 1 and 2, Northwest Quarter, Northeast Quarter, Section 9, Township 101 North, Range 51 West. That is in Wall Lake Township. The petitioner and property owner is Eric Bartman, located at 46257 263rd Street. Anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Item number 8, conditional use permit 26-36 to transfer 1 building eligibility from Muntz's Tract Lot 1A, Northeast Quarter, to McKay's Tracts 1 and 2, Northwest Quarter, Northeast Quarter, all within Section 9, Township 101 North, Range 51 West. That is also in Wall Lake Township. The petitioner and property owner is Eric Bartman and located at 46257 263rd Street. Anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Item number 9, conditional use permit 26-38 to allow temporary fireworks sales on the property legally described as Tract 1 and 2, Northwest Quarter. There is an exception of Lot 1, Tract 1, end of exception, Section 10, Township 101 North, Range 48 West. That is in Split Rock Township. Petitioner is T.J. Cameron. Property owner is Precision Capital, South Dakota, LLC. The location is 2012 South Split Rock Boulevard. Anyone from the commission, staff, or audience wish to be heard on this item? Commissioners?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the conditions recommended by staff.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. If your item has been approved, you are free to go. We'll move on to the regular agenda. Item number 10, conditional use permit. 26-37 to allow a Class C hog concentrated animal feeding operation of 2,400 head on the property legally described as Tract 2, Leardell Edition, Southeast Quarter, Section 31, Township 104 North, Range 47 West. That is in Highland Township. Property owner and the petitioner is Chad Stavaroo, located at 48462 250th Street. Kevin?
Good evening, I'm Kevin Hookman from the County Planning Department. Yes, this request is to allow a Class C hog confinement. The property is located approximately 2 miles west of Sherman. The Class C hog confinement can have up to 999 animal units, and the petitioner's requested barn will be 2,400 head of finishing swine, which is less than the 999 animal units within the ordinance. This petitioner did submit some site plans and other materials to support his request. The barn, as you see here in the site plan, is planned to be 81 feet by 249 feet. Manure will be kept in a pit below the barn. The site plans that were submitted in the plan, I did not have one up on the screen here, show that the petitioner's barn will meet setbacks from neighboring property uses, including houses, as well as the submitted site plan or submitted materials also includes some other details, including how manure containment will be maintained and manure will be spread once a year, as well as a single page where 2 logs of soil boring tests were completed before the application. The soil bore tests were dug 15 feet deep, and the data showed that there was water or wet soils at approximately 5 feet deeper than the planned manure containment. With that information, I'll just kind of skip a little bit back here. That with that information, staff did recommend condition number 6, that the CAFO obtain a general state permit, which would require soil borings and ongoing testing of materials and maintenance of the structure. The petitioner will be requesting that this condition be removed. I will also note that the petitioner there's some information that was handed out to you tonight, submitted additional information regarding this with a new test bore of 52 feet deep that does show that there's no aquifer materials within the new test bore. So that would go along with that. With the submitted materials, I will note that the site plan is important, and I showed here on the site plan that there's an existing farmstead here, or farm acreage site here, and this is going to be on a newly platted site that's right next to that farm acreage site. The barn will fit just snugly right into the proposed, or into the lot, with 50 feet setbacks, with a longer setback on the south property line for load-in, load-out areas. I won't go through all the requirements of the site plans that are shown in the staff report. If you have any questions, we can ask that as well. But then I will note again that the setbacks are met, and you can see this line right here is the closest property. It's hard to read, but the nearest residence shows 1,438 feet to the southwest, or southeast, excuse me. So that the setbacks are met, so no waivers will be required for this application. In reviewing this conditional use permit criteria, I'll cover some of the highlights. The number 1, the criteria, the effect upon the use and enjoyment of the property in immediate vicinity for the uses already permitted, and upon property values in the immediate vicinity. The proposed barn is located within an active agricultural area. Much of the area is already cropland and low residential density for farmsteads and acreages. The barn is planned to be placed adjacent to existing acreage site. I will note that staff did receive a letter of opposition that would have been supplied in your packet. The letter of opposition was from a cluster of houses located approximately 1,900 feet to the northwest of the proposed barn. The letter requests additional conditions, and as the barn meets setbacks in the agricultural district I noted before, does not require setbacks. If the Planning Commission does find that further action is needed, solutions such as tree belts can be included, but it is not included in the staff report. The effect upon the normal, number 2, the effect upon the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding vacant properties for uses predominant in the area. Again, this is predominantly agriculture. There is potential for further agricultural uses such as CAFOs, as well as residential uses in farmsteads and acreage sites. It is unlikely that the agricultural development will change due to the proposed barn. And I will note that it was as intense land uses such as CAFOs increase in number, generally residential uses may become less desirable in the area. But this is the agricultural area. And any new residential development will have to have a right to farm notice covenant placed on the deed prior to constructing a dwelling. And I guess with that, I will skip to the number 5. The measures are taken to control offensive odors, fumes, dust, noise, vibration, and lighting, and inclusive of lighted signs so that none of these will constitute a nuisance. This is a new CAFO facility, and as I noted before, it has the potential to create some nuisances if not managed properly. There is a narrative and operation plans that were submitted with the application, and these are expected to be carried out. If they are carried out, that will reduce the times that the manure gets pumped as well as maintenance of the facility. The Planning Commission does have the ability to add other conditions. And then number 6, the health, safety, and general welfare of the public and the comprehensive plan. The applicant will have to comply with conditions of this permit and as well as all the requirements of the revised zoning ordinance. The facility is not required to obtain a state permit, although staff has recommended it as number 6, and the state will review the application if the county requires it. I'll go through some of the site photos. I took some from the road. You can see that it is set back from the road quite a distance. It would be located approximately at the same depth as these trees from the highway there. Some of the neighboring houses, you can see they're clustered by trees in the distance around, looking to the northwest, to the southwest, and then to the southeast there. And then a little bit to the northeast. You can see the existing farmstead there and the waterway on the other side of the farmstead. I'll bring it back to the site plan. Sorry, wrong way. And staff is recommending approval with 8 conditions, and I am available for any questions.
Any questions for him?
Madam,
Cindy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just wondered what the cost is for the state general water pollution control permit. Is there a cost? And if it's ongoing, does that mean there's an ongoing cost?
I believe there is an ongoing cost. I'm not aware of how much it is. Perhaps the petitioner is aware of how much it is. I think some of the apprehension of the state permit would be timeline-wise, in part, in order to get construction started, from my understanding, and you can ask the petitioner that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, along those same lines, as we kind of understand that question, or point 6 is going to be a question for us. Had the 52-foot boring been submitted initially, would have staff ever required that, knowing that it wasn't an aquifer, or was it just the moist material at 5 foot that triggered that condition initially?
It really, the water in the hole was a big factor of creating that condition number 6, because there was too much unknown and the water level too high to allow it as is. There is alternative, you can add other conditions too. If you want to still provide some structure to this or other alternative conditions, you can add things like monitoring either the well or of the, for example, in the maintenance plan of the project, it says that somebody has to inspect the manure pit for cracks on a regular basis. We could even have that something where a third party does that to ensure that the manure pit contains the liquids, or something to that effect, to get a little more creative if there's still a need to have additional monitoring for the site.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for him? Guess not at this time. Is the petitioner here? Yep. Please step forward and state your name and address, sir.
Hi there. I'm Chad Stoddard. Trying to stay back a little bit here. So I got Nick Rowe. He's my engineer from ProAg, and he's going to speak on the engineering of the facility for me.
Will you state your address too, please?
Yep. 48462 250th Street, Sherman, South Dakota.
Hi, my name's Nick Rao with ProAg Engineering, a professional agricultural engineer out of Jackson, Minnesota, and licensed in South Dakota and numerous other states. I just wanted to bring up that condition with requiring the state permit. That's typically required when you're really on a shallow aquifer. And those requirements of monitoring groundwater monitoring wells and getting a state permit are typically with shallow aquifers. Definition of shallow aquifer is less than 50 feet, and that you got to have, if you have less than 30 feet of clay above that material. So in the aquifer map that is shown, we are in the white area, which is in the legend there says that there's about 300 foot of soil before the Succortites aquifer, where a lot of the water and wells are developed in the area. There is a nearby shallow aquifer if you zoom down to the next page. We're aware of that. It's close there. That map there is a real large scale map. A better map that we use is the soils map, and it shows how the soils were formed. You can see the shallow aquifer kind of follows that little blue line, that waterway that goes up. That's typical of how shallow aquifers go. They kind of follow streams. Makes sense there. So you go down to the next page, and there you can see where I think this is an important map. We are in a moody soils. That's a heavy clay soils, a lot of clay. And the shallow aquifer is in the pink there, and that's an alluvial soil, and that soil is formed from glaciers melting, and that's where you have sand and gravels and shallow water. So we were aware of this when we first did the borings. We were not concerned with the moody soils one bit, so we did a shallower boring. It saved the client a lot of money, not having to go down 50 feet. We did the borings originally in February, non-growing season. Typically when you have high groundwater, and it's not even groundwater, it is a perched water that's perched in the heavy clay. It just cannot really have a place to soak down to. It's perched groundwater, and that's what we encountered in February. We encountered it, we put it in the logs, didn't think it was much of a concern at all. You can go down the next, or can I control it too? Or? Yeah, you should. Okay. All right, yeah, that's just a simple kind of map of showing how the shallow aquifers follow streams. And we got a thick layer of glacial till, that blankets the rest of the area. Same thing with the water table. This is a pretty good example. We encountered this perched water when we dug the holes, where the real water is usually down here and in the shallow aquifers, and we have all this in this area where the barn's at. We have, looks like about 300 foot of that clay before we get down to the actual aquifer. And then after we saw the conditions, we rushed and hurry up and got a deep boring done to help prove it, that we were not over a shallow aquifer. We did a deep boring right on the corner of the northeast corner of where the barn's going to go. That's the closest to the mapped shallow aquifer. And in that boring, we went 52 feet deep. and there was no water measured when that boring was dug last week, and it showed clay the full 52 feet. So I just feel like the engineering on the pit doesn't change at all between what we have planned now and what would be for a state permit. The biggest holdup would probably be that it takes a while to get a state permit, and it would probably eliminate the ability to build the barn this year, which he has been counting on to do. And, that would put us off a whole other year probably. So it takes a while with that, but there's really no changes in the design or the construction of the barn, the pit. And like I said, there's no good soils underneath, and we feel like that condition of requiring a state permit is just really unnecessary. So just wanted to stress that. If you have any questions on the plans, should be able to answer anything you got.
Any questions for him?
Madam Charles,
Go ahead.
how deep are you going with your pit then?
It's about 5 feet into the ground and 3 to 4 feet out of the ground.
Okay.
So.
Anyone else? Thank you. Anyone else from the audience wish to speak on this item? Please step forward.
Alrighty. So my name's Chad Stoddard here again. I'm a row crop farmer and independent hog producer. I currently farm 830 acres and own one 1,200 head hog barn on my dad's farm. As a smaller independent operator, livestock production is my best opportunity for growth and the primary way I provide for my family. I'm seeking approval to build a new state-of-the-art hog barn featuring the best ventilation system on the market. Unlike a traditional tunnel-ventilated barn, which is typically 100 feet wide by nearly 200 feet long that pulls the air 200 feet across the animals with a 100-foot curtain opening, my proposed barn will measure 81 feet by 249 feet. It will pull the air 81 feet across the hogs with more than 240 feet of curtain opening on the front. So it's a significantly, larger volume of air that's getting pulled across a shorter distance of pigs. So the result is significantly better odor dilution, superior air quality for the pigs, and much more neighborly. Modern hog facilities with proper ventilation have made great strides in odor control. Recently, we hosted my son's 5th birthday party on the farm. One of the fathers came up to me shortly after we arrived and asked why our farm didn't stink. He held the common misconception that hog farms always have a terrible odor. You don't know what you don't know. Today's well-designed barns are far different from outdated public perceptions. I'm also committed to responsible environmental stewardship. I plan to inject all the manure directly into the soil using industry best management practices. With fertilizer prices at record highs, it makes no economic or agronomic sense to waste this precious resource through over-application. I will apply it precisely where my crops can use it most effectively without having any runoff, to the best of my ability. I recently met with Dan Paulson and I talked through all these details, and by the end of our conversation he wished me luck and hoped the project would pass. Now regarding item 6, the state permit requirement, I must respectfully address what I feel is unfair treatment during the permitting process. For a couple of years I've worked openly with the county staff on this project. I originally proposed the site on my acreage, and if you look at the map there, I own that acreage too and have bin site there. So it's where my grain bins are. There's an old barn there with silos, and where the cattle yards used to be a big feedlot. There was a prominent cattle feeding back in the day. I was told a state permit would be required there due to the shallow aquifer. I then identified the current location where I'm trying to build. I asked the staff about the current location and was told it would not require a state permit. After my landlords agreed to sell me 2.55 acres, I again verified that the site was suitable and would not need a state permit. When I completed the survey, purchased the ground, and submitted my final paperwork, I once more asked if everything was in order. I was told I was good to go and was told I would be emailed the staff report before he sent it to the board and would check to see if I had any questions. I never received that email. When I finally received the staff report in the mail, I was surprised and disappointed to see a new recommendation for a state permit. I called and was told by the office staff that there's no specific ordinance or setback distance in the county code for hog barns near mapped shallow aquifers. It is left to discretionary judgment. Introducing this requirement at the final stage after repeated assurances that the site was good feels arbitrary and creates a concerning precedent. The state permitting process would delay construction by at least 3 months, I was told, pushing the entire project into next year and exposing me to substantial cost increases due to inflation and the ongoing costs of a continued state permit and extra time and all the extra stuff associated with it. As Nick has clearly pointed out, my barn is not located on a shallow aquifer. It will only extend into the ground 4 to 5 feet with thick cement walls. Everything's all engineered up to the best of modern technology, leaving 5 to 6 feet of dry clay separation from the perched water. Importantly, perched water is not an aquifer. The 50-foot bore done on the site in the northeast corner where it is closest to the mapped aquifer, there is no aquifer beneath the proposed location. As a small independent farmer simply trying to expand responsibly, I feel I'm facing burdensome and unnecessary regulations. I respectfully ask the board to make a motion to remove item 6 from the requirements so I can move forward without further delay. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions for him? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience care to address this item? Okay, please step forward, state your name and address.
My name is Cheryl Bosma. I live at 48411 250th Street, Garrettson. I was one of them that sent a letter because I'm within the half mile. And my husband isn't able to be here because he's working out of town, but we're both against this. We live within a half mile. I'm worried we have a well that we drink out of. That has been a concern, along with the whole smell and the insect issue, the flies. I've lived near feedlots. I know that they were cattle, but I have lived surrounded by feedlots and have dealt with it. Now, we moved out there on an acreage, knowing that it was in the country, but there wasn't a hog operation. We knew what was already out there. We knew there was going to be dust. We knew there would be the chemical smells. We knew that there was going to be a lot of things going on out there, but there wasn't a hog operation at the time. And we've lived there for nearly 15 years, something along those lines. And now I'm afraid that it's going to impact our property values because there's going to be something that close. And people are going to look at it and say, that isn't where they want to go. I know that we're within the half mile. We are south and west, almost to 200 and whatever it is, 484th. I know my husband is very opposed. He grew up on a farm, so he is very familiar with it. They had hogs, they had cattle. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here, but we're both opposed. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Before I send it back to the commissioners, I'm going to give Adam the floor for a minute.
Yeah, I'd just like to disclose, a petitioner reached out to me last week, asking some questions, and I just told him just come present his case here tonight, and I believe that's what he did, so I just want to disclose that he reached out to me.
Okay, commissioners?
Madam Chair, I think with the new findings on the 50 foot bore or 52 foot bore, whatever it was, I see no reason to keep condition 6 on there. I think we could remove that. This is a pretty straightforward project, and manure's all contained. We're not dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff with it, I guess. So that I'd be in favor of this project.
Such a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve this with the removing of condition 6.
Madam Chair, I guess I'll second that with also the statement that without that second, had that initial 52-foot boring and submitted, and I'm not chastising, it doesn't feel like that would have been a condition initially anyway, so with that said, I guess I'd second Ryan's motion.
Okay. I have a motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. We'll move on to item number 11, conditional use permit 26-39 to amend conditional use permit 01-58 to expand the sanitary landfill on the property. Properties legally described as Tract 1, Sioux Falls Landfill Addition, Section 35, and Tract 1, Sioux Falls Landfill Addition, East Half, Section 34, to include the property legally described as the West Half, Northeast Quarter. And there's the exception of R-1 and except south 200 feet, end of exception. Section 34, all within Township 101 North, Range 51 West, Wall Lake Township. Fisher is Burns and McDonald Engineering, property owner of City of Sioux Falls, located at 26750 464th Avenue. Kevin?
Good evening, I'm Kevin Hookman, again from County Planning Department. This request, as outlined, read with the legal description, is a large piece of land that contains the existing landfill operations as well as the proposed expansion area. The applicant is requesting to expand the conditional use permit that was most recently approved in 2001 with a small addition of area on the north side of the area of the landfill to contain some of the operations for traffic and depositing. Since that 2001 permit, the City of Sioux Falls has renewed the county solid waste permit every 5 years, as well as the state permit. And this will allow additional space for the landfill. I will note also that the original permit for this landfill was started in 1978. The major addition was added to it in 1995 to make the almost double the size of the landfill area. And then the small area increase in 2001. The petitioner did submit narrative and plans for the proposal. The narrative does explain that the extended landfill will extend the lifespan up to 37 years from the current expectation of the life of the landfill. There's also going to be some modification to the state-approved permit for better maintenance of the sidewalls of the landfill area and the liner system. And that will go through as kind of a separate process once this is approved. I'll bring up some of the site plans, but it's hard to see on the site plans without the color that the new expansion area will roughly take over this portion of the landfill as I'm outlining here on the map. And when we I'll bring up the site plans here. This is the current extent of the landfill, would be the kind of bottom south areas here. Lincoln County is over here. And then this would be the proposed expansion area, which would include this area here. The site plan also includes berming on the north side of the property with a 400-foot setback from the road. There is this kind of a carve out here, as it is a carve out from the nearest residence located over here. So that residence is located over 1,000 feet from the landfill area. And then finally, the other submitted plan would be the kind of the final grading plan for when everything is completely filled, and it will be a large mound similar to what is as they close up this site over here. To highlight a couple of the criteria for the conditional use, I'll highlight the number one, the effect upon the use and enjoyment of the property in an immediate vicinity for uses already permitted and upon property values in the immediate vicinity. This is an expansion of an existing landfill. The day-to-day operations of the landfill will not change significantly from where it is now. It's just the location. The new berm constructed on the north side should help with reducing wind flows and sight lines from the facility. And as I noted, there's the carve out for the landfill of the closest dwelling. Then as far as number 2, the effect upon the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding vacant properties for uses predominant in the area. As noted earlier, this has been a landfill since 1978. The area around the landfill already has the understanding that the landfill exists, and the development pressure in the area is already minimal. So staff does not see that development pressure will increase anytime soon. Number 3, the utilities, access road, drainage, and other necessary facilities are provided. The expansion will not change the access to the facility, as that will stay at its current site. Number 4, the off-street parking and loading requirements are met. The site is very large and will meet all loading requirements. Number 5, that measures are taken to control offensive odors, fumes, dust, noise, vibration, and lighting, inclusive lighted signs, so that none of these will constitute a nuisance. So this expansion of a site is one way to maintain operations in a similar vicinity, as it has been permitted over nearly 50 years. As I noted earlier, there will be berms to utilize on the north side of the property, and to reduce sightlines and wind, as well as setbacks. The nearest subdivision beyond the closest house is over 2,000 feet away to the northwest of the proposed expansion area, and that same subdivision is already approximately 2,000 feet from the composting operations on the north side of the existing facility. So the composting operations would be right around here. I will also add that a common complaint of previous permits for the landfill has been trash along the roads, along the highway. In the most recent are a couple of permits for solid waste permits. There has been a condition for trash cleanup along the highway. Staff is recommending that the condition be added to the conditional use permit as well, and that the garbage cleanup be extended the mile to the west from its current site, because it starts at the entrance and goes east. And if we extend it a mile to the west, it will accommodate the expansion area as well as landfill traffic coming from the west. The health, safety, and general welfare of the public and comprehensive plan. This is an existing landfill, and they will continue to meet state Department of Agriculture and Natural Resource permitting. Expanding the existing operations will allow easy transition from the existing operations to newly approved landfill areas. The site does benefit county residents as well as residents in the larger region for landfill services. Staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit with 8 conditions as listed on the staff report, and I'm here for any questions.
Any questions for him? Guess not. Is the petitioner here? Please state your name and address.
Good evening, Planning Commission. Luke Rodig with Burns McDonnell Engineering, 515 West Landscape Place, Sioux Falls. And I'm here with...
I'm Donnie Cooper. I'm the landfill superintendent with the city of Sioux Falls.
Just wanted to first thank the planning staff for their thorough review and consideration of our application, and thank you to the commission for your time this evening. As Kevin had mentioned, we've submitted a comprehensive permit application to the State Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources. That application included a full hydrogeologic investigation, so soil borings, soil testing, looking at the subsurface groundwater conditions, as well as the permeability of the clay soil. This site is really well suited for landfill development. The permeability testing of the clay is very, very low, so it provides extra barrier to protect groundwater beneath it. The overall facility already has in place engineering controls and environmental protections. So there's a liner system, there's leachate collection systems in place, there's also landfill gas systems that are installed and operating, to help reduce the odors of the landfill. So all of those would be maintained with this kind of continued operation of the permit modification. So anything to add at Donnie?
No, I want to say thank you for considering this. This is an important conditional use permit, and it's the best, it's the most sustainable way and cost-effective way to manage our solid waste programs. So thank you, and the whole 5-county region will appreciate it.
Any questions for them?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Is this going to extend it by 37 years, or the life of what's there right now will be extended another 37 years, right?
Correct. It'll be 37 additional years beyond what's currently permitted.
And with all the growth and all that, you counted for it and all that then?
Correct.
Okay.
There is a waste growth projection as part of that remaining life calculation.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you. Anyone from the audience wish to address this item? Step forward, state your name and address.
Dan Brandt, 46408 267th Street, Hartford. I live where my wife and I, the family, live in the property closest to it. I want to make a comment that the landfill is making every effort to be a good neighbor, and we appreciate that. Mainly, we have a question. I know they're doing a berm of some sort across the north. The cutout area, which would be definitely visible from us, if they're doing something there, or if a berm could be put around that cutout area as well to kind of help control or hide things. And then also, I believe it was mentioned that the continual picking up the garbage, if that would be continued. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to address that?
I can, yes.
Please.
Yes, that cutout in that north berm is strictly just for drainage, kind of through that site. So it drains from the north to the south. So maintaining drainage from the existing roadway ditch and kind of to the south and east and around the landfill is the reason for that cutout. You know, I'm sure there's some alternatives that the city and our team could look at for that, but that's the reason for it.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Cindy.
So is there a berm on that area, or it's just a cutout area? Because I don't know what it looks like.
Currently, the berms will stop right by that call-out bubble, and there is an opening of about 50 feet, approximately. So I know the landfill has, you know, maintained trees and shelter line, you know, along their property, so that would anticipate to continue along the north there for additional screening.
Answer your question?
Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Anyone else care to address this item before I close the floor? Commissioners?
Madam Chair, sounds like everybody's happy with the situation. It's a needed project, so I would make a motion to approve item 11.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and second to approve conditional use permit 26-39. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Move on to number 12, conditional use permit 26-16 to exceed 20,000 square feet of industrial warehouse area, frequenting 24,000 square feet on the property legally described as lots 1 and 2A, Block 3, Green Valley Addition, Northeast Quarter, Section 12, Township 102 North, Range 50 West, Benton Township. Petitioner is Heartland Contracting LLC, property owners New Direction Equipment Company Holdings LLC, located 25728 Cottonwood Avenue. Kevin?
Yes. I apologize. I see that as I'm flipping through the PowerPoint here, it must have gotten missed out of this PowerPoint for the the location of this. But this item has been brought before you before and was deferred to this hearing. That it was first brought at the April 27th Planning Commission meeting, where staff brought up concerns about unmet conditions of the previous conditional use permit, including pavement for the road as well as lighting. I will say that since that time, staff revisited the property and saw that the pavement has been installed, the lighting has been installed, and there's still no fence there. The petitioner has shown that there is going to be a fence, and the site plan has relocated it. And it is, and I guess we can ask the petitioner, but my assumption is that it's going to come after construction, as they will need to have access to that construction site when the building is built. With that, I did add conditions to the permit. So the staff is going to be recommending approval of the conditional use permit, and there's 16 conditions on there. Many of them are similar to what was previously approved on the permit, and with the modifications for the new request. So since we've already heard this item, I guess I'll leave it at that, and we can ask any questions if we need to.
Any questions for him?
I just asked, where was the
Ed?
fence going to be at originally on that, the exterior fencing around there?
So the original fencing would have been, it would have stretched a lot further, closer to the interstate. Now the proposed fencing is just kind of an area around the display area now, much closer to the building is what was previously proposed. And it's all going to be on the back side of the building towards the interstate.
East side.
Yep, so it'd be the east side.
Any other questions for him? Okay. Is the petitioner here? Please step forward, state your name and address.
Hi, my name is James with Heartland Contracting, 5509 West Darcy Street, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Any questions for him? I guess not.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There's nobody else in here, right? Okay. Commissioners?
I'll make a motion to approve item 12 with the recommendations by staff.
No second.
Okay, I have a motion and second to do conditional use permit 26-16. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Old business? You have some new business.
So I would like to ask Mason Steffen to come out. I know he's been manning the camera. So I have you back there, Mason? Come on out. So
No warning.
no warning. So I have a nice certificate of recognition. Mason's been here 5 years in June, and I want to present this to him. And he works closely with you, and so I thought this would be the best venue to present his certificate of 5 years of service. So thank you, Mason. Continue the good work. Thank you. You can address the audience.
I don't think I have anything to say except for thank you. Feels like it's not been 5 years, and yet here we are. So have a good night, everybody.
Congratulations, Mason. That it? Scott? Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Whoa.